Well, what happened was get feedback, but I'll do it. Dad and Tiffany went to Africa for a few years in a row to film movies, and they went to Mozambique after film time, and the house was run by. And they said, well, wouldn't that be cool to do a movie based on that? So we were just going to rent some lunch, and so we started for an acting family anyway. We went around and we interviewed some trained lions in Hollywood, but they didn't get along with each other, and they only one guy. The most we could get was 2, and we felt that you needed at least 10. So they said you should start getting your own cubs and raising them. And so we started getting our own cubs, and then we blinked and we had 150 of them. They were living in the house with us, but we felt we had to live with them to get to know them well enough to do a movie with them. In hindsight, that's probably very stupid. Well, it was very stupid. And people need wild animals, and people should have wild animals. They should. If you live with wild animals, you are going to get bit. It's not sweat. And we all did get 56 stitches in it, and it took 6 guys 25 minutes to get the line off it. And we were all getting bit all the time. So it was really, really bad. But on the other side, going know that I can't change the path, I had a great time. I had some of my best friends, lions and tigers, and some of my best memories and worst memories, and nightmares and dreams were with the animals.
Wow. I just want to say, John, we're having a slight audio problem here. We can hear most of what you're saying. Can you hear everything that I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just having, it's just an odd thing. So, but we got most of that. And I just want to say, so if it was 11 years of filming, was your family there the whole time? I mean, off and on, I'm guessing.
Right, but it was 5 years of filming and about 6 years of prep.
Oh, I see.
And so like, we lived with them and with them at home for a period of 6 years. Right. I lived at the ranch for about 2 years before we started filming. I ran the ranch. And then I was in charge of the animal, I was in charge of everything. And when we started filming, we probably filmed about 200 days a year for 5 years.
Wow.
And the family was there almost every single day for all that.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm sure the audience is eager to ask some questions and give some comments. So, do we have any questions or comments from anyone? Here we go.
I'll be back.
I know you guys are really familiar with the lions and tigers and everything, but I was wondering what the process was when you introduced like new crew members and how that changed the dynamic of you and the lions and the crew and all that.
Well, it wasn't really because the lions were used to a lot of people anyway, but we did go to animal training school. These are trained animals, so they really animal handling school. And so you're a crew guy, you got a day or two, usually just one day and maybe a couple hours of the do's and don'ts. You don't run from the animals, you don't get hide and seek, you don't show fear, you use a cane and pop them in the nose and biting somebody. So you get the basics. You covered in a couple hours, but quite often, I mean, I had guys that didn't even have any training. You know, they can get I'm talking to one of the cameramen, got me as an assistant cameraman, and he told me that his first day of work was when he got 200 stitches in the head. And his first time driving to the ranch was he drove down the driveway, and it was an ambulance taking the director of photography away, and he was in the camera department. He stayed for 5 years. There's probably 5 guys that made it for 5 years. Jan Bond, one case of make it the first 3, he wasn't there for the first 3 weeks. But once he came, nobody usually spent more than a year or 2. Those were, you consider a war vet if you put in like a year and a half or 2.
Speaking of Jan Bond, the cinematography is beautiful. Have you done are there been any 35mm screenings of this around, you know?
No. I have a print of it in my garage, and actually it's in storage, and I'm going to pick it up because it's got unseen it was edited out of this version because it was too violent. My father gets bitten in the leg, and he screams so loud, it's like unnerving. Now the Draft House approach, it's the most dangerous film. We're going to put it in the Blu-ray version that Olive Draft released it in October. I'm going to put everybody gory thing. I'm going to make it like every blood.
Yeah. Probably it'd be more unnerving. I don't know. Other comments or questions? Yes, back here. Run around the theater here. I'm gonna. Can you just pass this down to the gentleman at the end? And thank you.
Hi, can you talk about what happened to the movie and how frustrating it was when it was not released and everything that went with that?
Well, it was released everywhere in the world. It just never released in America. And we all would ask. We'd say, every 6 months, I called up and said, any progress? And he goes, no, I'm working, and he was doing some deep stuff. And I think, I'm pretty sure there was some, bought a lot of money to make a movie, and the family did. We owned to make this, and then we started throwing money and everything. And he framed it when the movie came out in America, he couldn't get any money from it. It would just all go to the creditors. And I think he thought if he waited a couple of years, the creditors, he'd buy them out, and he would get a lot more of the profit we could use to feed the animal. So, but it was frustrating for me because I went to the world premiere in Melbourne, and I met the Prime Minister of Australia. He was at the thing, and so we got to have fun and enjoy on big screens, and just promoted it in England. But it was just such a shame that it wasn't here, and I've never lost faith in the fact that this movie could be seen by people, because although the acting, I know that the acting is great, I'm a much better actor that is on the screen, but a good day acting was that you were not in the hospital. So we didn't get a chance to act. But it's just very rewarding, because I know there would be at least animal lovers across the country that would enjoy to see what it was like to be this animals. And so they would finally get and the Draft House did.
Can you recall what was the worst injury that ever happened?
I get asked that question a lot. It's a hard question to answer. I would say that closest to death was the assistant director got bit here and a canine punctured his windpipe. And then I went in, and my friend and I dragged him out, and the line bit him in the ass on the way out. Actually, the guy was kind of a dick. He deserved it, actually pretty stupid. But that was the worst. And mine was not. Mine was very traumatic because I'm claustrophobic today. I can't be in a closed room because of that lion would trap me under him for so long. And then also, I never admitted till about 10 years ago that, because with lions, if you have any fear, you're dead. So fear is taken as something really, really bad. You're afraid of anything, right? Well, I would fight, but I never admitted to anybody because that's a sign of weakness. I would watch this film once or twice a year when I need something new or something, and then I'd have nightmares for a day or two. But when the came out now, for 12 straight days, I didn't sleep within 3 hours, and I'd wake up cold sweats. But now, I'm kind of desensitized to it. Now, my stories, I don't think about it, I have great memory now. In my was, I'm alive, I'm healthy, and I think that there's probably 20 people in the world that can say that they lived with 150 lions and tigers for 10 years. And, in the bed with. So it's a great party. It's easy to talk to women at parties when they.
Hey,
I use this all.
I date some guy to say that at a party. That's amazing. Yeah, see, the ladies know here.
Hi.
What's it?
I have two questions. One of them
Well, when do I miss them? Yes. Would I do it again? I friends of mine still have them. An ex-girlfriend a couple years ago, I took her out to a friend's place because she and her family wanted to play with a black leopard. So I could, all the animals, Tippy still has its rescue facility, and 7 animals out there, but you can't go near the animal, and you definitely can't touch them. So I had to go to my friend's place. So I kind of missed that, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of like a Ferrari, your life, and just one day somebody saying, okay, not only can you not drive the Ferrari anymore, you can't touch it, you have to go back to the general public over there. So that's frustrating. But, and in answer to the other part of your question, when the film was done, the only thing that happened, we kept those animals. They retired out there. So I would go out and visit them every weekend. And I had a commercial production company. I would take my clients out there to take pictures and buy the elephant. And the dangerous thing was when we were filming, because we were doing things that you knew you shouldn't do with the animals. So it was really dangerous by your thought. And then once we stopped filming, if one of them tried to hit it out, and they remembered, oh, that's the John that eats us up. So then I wasn't as much danger as I was Zach. I've been out there for years afterwards. I love it.
Okay, other questions or comments? Someone way back here. Hi.
Hello.
I want to commend your courage.
Or stupidity.
Whatever. I have a question and then a rhetorical question, or maybe not. Where was this filmed? Was it filmed here in the United States, or was it filmed in Africa?
Father was great in doing that. We shot the opening in Africa. So when you see those huge vistas and 1,000 giraffes, you think you're in Africa. But then, just you get about 4 minutes back, and then you go into the ranch, which is about an hour from Los Angeles. It's in LA County, and that's where we have all the animals, and that's where we built that house in the weekend where we raised them all.
So these are all animals who have been living in the United States?
Animal in the film was in the United States, except the ones, the water buffalo and the giraffes in the beginning. All of those lived with it, and I think 2/3 of them were even born at the ranch. We bred, these animals because.
So are you trying to encourage people having private stocks of wild animals?
See, that's why Tiffany isn't promoting the, because her nonprofit organizations, mission statement, these are wild animals and people should not have them. And you couldn't play with wild animals, and Tiffany passed a law in Congress to stop the breeding of animals for the sales by the people. So we learned from this movie that people and animals should not, those wild animals should not be with people, and they should not be in captivity. That's what we learned.
You think that's the message of this movie?
No, that's saying that's what we learned. So now TIP is a nonprofit organization. That's why the board of directors said, TIP, we don't want you promoting the film because it's against everything we believe in. Because that's how we figured out that they're wild animals, they shouldn't be owned by people. They're not pets. And no, that's not the message we're trying to get. The message is we're just crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's in the disclaimers at the end. And I mean, even as you know, probably since this film came out, this is a huge problem in this country. There, in addition to all the giant snakes swimming around the Everglades, there's wild cats that people have taken as pets, and then they got too big or whatever, and they let them go to the Everglades, and they're breeding, like they're raising the Everglades. Not to mention there was a guy in Ohio that had all those animals, and he just let them go one day. That was nuts.
No,
other questions or comments? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It is a problem. Please, so don't do this at home. Other questions or comments about this amazing?
Yeah, and don't try to climb into a zoo cage because I cannot. because I'm still a lion doesn't mean somebody else should go into the lion.
Well, we're glad that you're here to tell the tale, as it were. Other questions or comments? Yes.
Hi. I was just curious if the film had a budget. Like, what was the budget of the film? Where did the money
Okay, well,
film?
originally the budget was $3 million and 9 months of filming. The end, it was $7 million and did 5 years of filming. We raised about $1 million from EMI, a Japanese production company out of Japan. So we went through that million like in the first couple days, because we put money prep, and then just kept borrowing from anybody that did investors and you know, the family. We started out the film with 4 houses, like 2 of them in Beverly, insurance, and 600 acre piece of all that's sold. So the top, like every nickel that the family had, it wasn't financially easy. We had a good time.
Anyone else? I just have one question about what was his name? The big bloody lion. Togar. So it's been a while, but I used to watch Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, religiously as a child, like probably some other people here. And what I learned about lions, watching that program, was that if you had more than one male dominant lion in the pride, there was a problem. So you got all these male lions running around. That was kind of exciting and scary to me. But Togar, was the reason he was always covered in blood because he was kind of getting past his prime and like the other animals wouldn't groom him? Was that why he was bloody?
Part of it was that he couldn't be groomed, and he couldn't clean himself.
Yeah.
But also, we found that the regular audience, they couldn't tell the difference from one lion to another weekend. So in order to make him be the bad guy, we always kept him covered in blood.
Oh.
And then in the movie, when the lion's cleaning him up, that's when you see that he's been accepted into the pride.
Oh, so that was
And
at the
you
end.
say, yeah, that was at the end. He was accepted in, and then Bobby was even licking Togar. But also, that when you point out that 2 male lions get along, that's what the problem we had. The animal trainer said you can't have 2 full-grown lions living together, keep being together. And we just disproved everything. And the way that big fight scene where Dad goes against his bitten, the way that you would do that is we would, in order to get a group of 10 full male lions together, you start with 2 and they have to fight with each other to figure out who's boss. And after they establish that for a couple of days, then you get a 3rd one. Then they all have to go fight each other and figure out where they fit in. Then you just add it, and every time you add a new one, they all have to fight with each other. It's just, it's like a bad park or something. I don't know what it is. But that's what happened that day with the animal fight.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You got to be in there with that, because if you start fighting each other too much and they're hurting each other, you got to break up the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll kill each other, right? God, incredible. Okay, we have one more question over here. We might have time for like one more after this, if anyone else has got a burning question.
Hi again. I was wondering if the other actors and or actresses ever had a problem during the filming of this. Just for example, Tippy and Melanie were probably a lot braver than I would have been during the filming of this. So was it ever a problem with, like any of them flipping out, or anything like that? Well, thank you.
Well, yeah, we're always seeing that, and I was the only one that could stand up to my father, because everybody, he was an intense individual to make this film. And I was talking again to this cameraman friend of mine for the week, and he pointed out that he thought that everybody was more afraid of my father than they were of the lion. But so I would stand up to my father, and I remember one time the scene with Albany and the kitchen floor with Boomer, and I went up and I said, "So Dad, Melanie come to me, and she's kind of afraid of the scene. What can we do to make her feel a little bit better?" I said, "I've got some suggestions." And he said, "That's stupid, just for her not to be afraid." said, yeah, you don't have any fear because if you show fear, you're dead. And I understand that you don't have any fear. But you have to realize that fear is in other people's mind, and it is real to them. You can't just tell them to turn it off. So be invested, otherwise you're not going to want to do the movie. And so I was always the one that would try to be supportive. And me and Melanie would both, when he changes with, because the script changed a lot as we went along. But Tim and Melanie would always try to get in scenes with me because I was the one that was the safety of the CDP. My brother was watching for himself more than in Melanie, whereas I would put Melanie and Tim safe in front of mine.
I have a question about that I was thinking about earlier. Could the lions and the tigers and the panthers and all these wild animals, elephants, could they tell the difference between, because animals can smell fear, right? So could they tell the difference between when the actors were acting scared and when they were, do you know what I mean? And they were actually scared.
And that was the problem, because we were good at acting. Looked afraid, thought we were afraid. They couldn't tell the difference. So I would be a character sometimes, got in huge fights with my brother. He hit me in the whole group once for blowing his scene because I thought I was going to get the I turned around and I just smacked the man in the nose and said, no. And then he goes, you ruined the shot. Oh, I didn't hit him. He goes, you weren't going to get hit. I was.
How many times did your dad say things like that? Like, oh, you're not going to get bitten. Oh, that's not, I can picture that, like, constantly.
You know, 3 times a day? Like 5, 10 times a day? People that, there were times, I think on that day that John got bitten, he got 200 stitches in the head. I think 6 crew guys quit that day. And then there was another day that the whole Griffin Electrical Department quit. It was very difficult, and it was, you had to teach the crew thing, so you didn't want a lot of turnover, but that's a lot of turnover. Because there were people that just go, yeah,
This was just an incredible film, and I think some people had to leave earlier because it's kind of a school night, work night here, but everyone really enjoyed it, and I hope you keep milking these stories for all they're worth at every cocktail party you ever go to, and every reunion, every other thing. Did you have anything else you wanted to say to us before we sign off?
You know what? I'm doing draft houses. We have a conversation with them tomorrow. I've approached them. They want to do it. We're going to make a coffee table book of production stills.
Oh, great!
Yeah, they're amazing still. And then I did a documentary that I made called The Making of Roar. I'm talking to them about making it an hour and a half long and releasing it in theaters. That'll be called Roar 2 documentary. And then I've got about 8 people that are talking to me and trying to get me to write my personal memoirs as related to the animals. So I unfortunately I planted my first lion 40 years ago in preparation for the American distribution. 48 years, that's times longer than good. I'm still going to be doing this in 3 years, I think.
I think it's fantastic. Is there like a website or something that people can get more information on for these things that are coming in the future?
I have a website, roarthemovie.com. I sell documentaries at roarthemovie.com. And I sell DVD, I sell Making of Roar, I sell t-shirts. And then on my Facebook page, if you want to friend me on Facebook, it's Roar the Movie. And then I post things on now. I don't do Facebook personally. I'm updating because it's a big fan base. And so I'm updating people there where it's going to be and what's going to be the next thing coming out. So if they check these 2 things, they'll figure it out.
Great, fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to that coffee table book because I thought this visually was just stunning. That's going to be great. Thanks so much. This has been a great conversation. Let's give another big hand to John Roswell. Bye, John. Good luck with everything.
Bye. Thank you very much.
No idea.